Hola, hola. I am Ray Green, and welcome to Tuesday Tactics. Today, we're going to cover three questions to ask if your consultative sales calls suck. All right. Now, here's the question. Are you consistently losing prospects that you talk to, even though that you know you can help them? You know that your services, your solution would solve the problem that they have, would alleviate the pain that they're experiencing, but you're losing them after you talk to them. I know it can be really frustrating. And it's frustrating in part because you feel like you're letting these people down, right? Like you know that by not selling them, that they're probably going to continue to keep struggling with the challenges that got them to you in the first place. And it's also frustrating because it's costing you sales. Let's face it. Now, I've led dozens of sales audits and for client-based companies, including some of the world's most, like the largest business coaching programs. And I've picked up on some really common sales process mistakes. And when you fix these mistakes in the process, like the way that you're delivering your calls, then they help a one person consulting business as much as they do $100 million coaching program. Okay. And there are three questions. I'm going to give you three questions. There's more, but I'm going to give you three questions to help determine if you or your team is making any of these mistakes, right? The first one is, are you selling broccoli or are you selling chocolate? Right now, clients usually know what they want, but if you've done consulting for a while, if you've done coaching for a while, then you learn along the way that a lot of times what clients want and what they need aren't necessarily the same thing. Okay. And a lot of coaches and a lot of consultants respond to this by trying to convince their prospects, to actually to buy what they need, which is essentially means you're trying to get someone to buy something that they don't want. Right. And that doesn't work that well. A better approach is finding a way to market and sell to the symptoms that they're experiencing rather than the root cause of what's causing them. And one of my recent clients and like a brilliant business coach, Dan Martell, calls this offering chocolate broccoli. Okay. And I love it. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. To me, this is all about positioning your solution in such a way that prospects are able to buy what they want in order for us to deliver what they need. And I'd like the best example for me in learning this the hard way was with my 360-degree sales audit. And for a year, I refused to call it a sales audit because we audit sales, yes, but we also audit all these processes and things that influence sales, like the value proposition and marketing. Because if you're gonna evaluate sales and look for how to bust through plateaus or turn things around, you got to understand these other variables, right? So I didn't want to call it a sales audit. But when I quit marketing a growth system audit, which people didn't know what they wanted, right? It was like when I quit marketing a growth system audit and I started marketing what people really wanted, it was a game changer. I was able to deliver what they needed. They got what they wanted. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, are you selling chocolate or are you selling broccoli? All right. Second question, are you talking about problems and solutions or are you talking about pains and emotions? Most discovery calls are loaded with a bunch of fact-based questions in order to qualify prospects, right? We teach our salespeople, like, what's the size of the company? What's the problem that they're facing? What's the budget to solve those problems? Where are they in the buying process? Who are the decision makers? Like, what are their expectations? Like, and so you've got this long list of fact-based questions. And like, don't get me wrong, like that part of discovery, it's important. Like if they don't have a problem you can solve, if it's not a good fit, then no one wins. Okay. But here's the thing. In every single purchase, people don't buy on logic alone. They decide to buy on emotion and then they justify it with logic. And that's why in discovery, we need to invest as much time into unpacking their problems as we do the pain that those problems are causing and how that's making them feel. Right. There's a really big difference between knowing someone wants to grow their business by 50%, fact, and knowing that they need to grow their business by 50% so that they can retire their spouse, homeschool their children, and move, like fulfill their lifelong dream of being location independent. Like it changes the conversation when you understand what they're trying to accomplish and why that matters to them as a person, as a human being. So are you scratching the surface when it comes to discovery, or are you really getting into understanding why they're doing what they're doing as a person and what those motivations are? Right. The third question I would ask is, are your prospects talking to a stranger? Right. Like your success rate in your consultative sales process is highly dependent on the effectiveness of the marketing that got them to you in the first place. And here's why. Consultative sales requires having the authority and credibility to offer a prescription that prospects are going to actually accept. Okay. And not many people they're not going to accept a prescription of anything of significance anyway, if they don't know who you are. Right. So in order to maximize your close rates, the process that gets them to book a call in the first place and the process after they book that call should be inviting them to learn more about you. All right. And like, does your sales and marketing process try to get people to book a call immediately? Like, hi, how are you? Book a call. Or does it allow them to learn more about you and how you work first? When they do book a call, are you sharing like really relevant, hard hitting content to engage with and testimonials before you talk to them to boost your credibility? Or are they basically getting on a call with a stranger? Okay. When this process is optimized, getting them to book a call and the time between booking the call and actually doing the call, when that's optimized, we've seen this double close rates. I've seen it cut sales cycles in half, and I've seen it lead to much better opportunities to close the deal on the call while you're actually talking to someone, rather than having a 2 or 3 call close that takes 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or longer. Right. More importantly, it frees you and your team up from having conversations with people that aren't qualified in the first place, or people that like aren't ready to be sold. Okay. So there you have it. Those are 3 questions to help you diagnose your own sales and marketing processes to help, improve the process for everyone. Hope that helps. Until next week.